Antonio. It's the Orlando Magic versus the San Antonio Spurs. Now for the starting lineups. Starting at forwards for the Magic are Anthony Avent and Nick Anderson. The center, Shaquille O'Neal. And the guards are Dennis Scott and Penny Hardaway. For the Spurs, J.R. Reed and Dale Ellis started forwards with David Robinson at center. The backcourt is Willie Anderson and Vinny Del Negro. Brian Hill's the head coach for Orlando. And at the helm for the Spurs is John Lucas. At the tip-off, it's the SHAQ against the Admiral. Orlando controls the tip, and Anthony Hardaway brings it up slowly, setting up the offense. He swings it to Nick Anderson, who hits Dennis Scott for the jumper as Orlando opens up the scoring. The Spurs counter by going to their point center.
Robinson on a give and go.
The Magic in turn go to their main man, who shows the inside moves and the power, giving Orlando the edge in the seesaw battle. Robinson shows his passing ability again, this time going long to Dale Ellis, who takes it in for the jam. The Spurs take a lead 17-15. Orlando answers the challenge by turning it up a notch on defense.
Hardaway with a great save for Shaq O'Neal. Look at the big men go.
The battle continues center stage as Ellis goes baseline and hits the Admiral for the slam.
In your face for the Admiral.
Robinson has it under control in the paint. So Ellis takes it again, but this time from the outside. Not to be outdone, Orlando sharpshooter Dennis Scott connects for his fourth three-pointer of the quarter, giving Orlando a 6-point advantage at the end of the first. The Spurs come out running in the second quarter, chipping away at the Orlando lead. Robinson's denied, but make sure the next one counts. Nick Anderson answers with a baseline jumper and gives Coach John Lucas something to worry about. But his Spurs continue to make a run at the Orlando lead as Willie Anderson blows by Nick Anderson for the slam. Even Dennis the Worm Rodman gets into the act as he slams it down, and the Magic lead is cut to 5. Orlando counters with its bench as veteran Scott Skiles sinks the three. Some additional help comes from Anthony Bowie as he hits the corner J. But in the final seconds of the half, Dale Ellis finds Rodman all alone for the jam, and Brian Hill calls for his last shot. Off a broken play, it's retrieved by Shaq, who connects for the layup and the foul at the buzzer, giving the Magic a 7-point lead at halftime. And in this showdown at the Alamo Dome, it's 61-54, favor of Orlando. At the start of the second half, San Antonio started out strong and has cut Orlando's lead to 3. With 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, let's join Dick Enberg and Steve Jones for the call of the game.
Stolen by Willie Anderson. And a whistle. The illegal defense is the call against San Antonio. Oh, Lucas and the fans here don't like it a bit. Anderson, the man who made the steal, called for the illegal defense.
Willie Anderson is not guarding anybody. Right there, he's stuck in the lane and not guarding anybody. Yes, you hand me the ball. It's a good call, but you're saying, hey, we had a fast break. You can't take it from us now.
Timeout, 6:47 left in the third. Dennis Scott will go to the line to shoot one for Orlando. 40-year-old John Lucas. He's proud of a lot of things. One of those a week from now will mark the 8th anniversary of his battle with chemical dependency and winning that one. A grand guy. I just hope that John Lucas stays in this league as a coach for another 20 years. He just is so much fun to be around. I think his players feel the same.
They have really responded to John Lucas, and this year he has changed at least his technical approach to the game. He had to devise an offense in which David Robinson was comfortable, and a guy like Dennis Rodman who doesn't shoot, so that they could be effective, and he's done so.
Hardaway misses the short jumper. He's 1 for 10. One of his coldest shooting games of the entire NBA season, if not the coldest.
Del Negro has been the hot hand for San Antonio, and they have to figure out where to attack without David Robinson out on the floor.
Anderson from long range. Rebound Hardaway. top of everything else, he's averaging over 5 rebounds a game as the guard Hardaway. O'Neal behind J.R. Reid, and a perfect lob pass from Scott. 27 for SHAQ.
They've got to have more pressure on Hardaway so that he can't find that spot. O'Neal with a beautiful catch and drop.
O'Neal with the rebound. Sets off Nick Anderson. Out to SHAQ. Brian Hill says, slow it down now. Get a good shot out of this.
Well, you got to think if you're the Magic, you come inside to Shaquille O'Neal and make the defense react.
Nick Anderson, he took a look at SHAQ, zoomed in on him, and saw the open alley. 11 for Nick. Gets back to a 7-point lead for Orlando.
What John Lucas needs now is some offense so that they don't get too big a separation on the scoreboard. Dale Ellis has been the guy that's been left out.
He misses again. He hasn't had any points since the first quarter.
Again, now they got Shaquille down low. This time it's Rodman all over him.
Anderson. Avon. Oh, Hardaway with a driving move on that rebound, unable to score. Ellis at the other end for 2. And a push and shove between J.R. Reid and Nick Anderson, and it'll go against Nick Anderson. His first.
You see Shaquille O'Neal posting up down low. He's able to get good position and then spin away from J.R. Reid. Telling you, he's got the whole package. These guys that said this guy hasn't been working on his game, I guess they haven't been watching him.
And the quick feet of a 305-pound man that had that kind of quickness. What a first step. And a good birthday so far for Shaquille O'Neal. Del Negro for 3. He rattles out, and the home team is cold. Hardaway on a breakaway.
The mistake that San Antonio is making is they're becoming totally perimeter, and that is working them against the clock. John Lucas wants to talk about that. They have a timeout.
22nd timeout called by Lucas.
Anytime you shoot the ball deep, there's a chance that you're going to end up with a fast break thrown against you. This time, Penny Hardaway, just a little extension.
Well, it may be a minor jinx for David Robinson getting the 4 early fouls, but they say it does happen when you get your face plastered on that famous magazine. That's the current issue. Mr. MVP and his coach John Lucas is the campaign manager.
Trying to get inside now with J.R. Reid. Good up and under, but couldn't finish. Rodman
Gets it back to San Antonio.
They got to shoot.
With 2 seconds on the clock, it won't drop. Boy, they've had tough luck shooting in the third. 9-point lead for the Magic on the gun.
David Robinson at the scorer's table. Lucas is not going to wait.
Hardaway, he's been the O in Orlando in this game.
Inside to SHAQ, and they're going to make Rodman and San Antonio adjust. That's a good miss for Krzysztofiak with a foul.
Krzysztofiak able to get the score, and Rodman in anger slams the ball on the court. And a warning delay of game against Rodman. Whoa! That won't bring any favor from the officials. That'll bring you that one right there. Technical foul. Mike Mathis had to call that. And back to the line goes Dennis Scott.
Rodman and San Antonio can't afford to give up these cheap points. They're not scoring at all, and they're being frustrated by the lack of scoring, the lack of calls. They haven't gotten a field goal in their last 6 attempts. Now they have the luxury of taking Shaquille O'Neal off of David Robinson, putting Krzysztofiak on him. Robinson can't control.
And then he reaches in, and the foul on Ellis or Robinson. It'll be on Dale Ellis. That was one of those calls where 2 men close, and the officials giving it to Ellis his first instead of Robinson his 5th. Antoine Carr comes in for Herman Reed. As the 40-year-old Lucas makes that change.
Herman, don't tell people his name is Herman.
Well, it's Herman Jr. And his dad, Herman, I saw him play with the Baltimore Colts as a defensive tackle a couple of years back at the end of Johnny Unitas' career. In fact, pretty fine basketball coach himself, Herman Sr. Coach David Robinson. How small the world as Hardaway hits the free throws, 80-67.
They got to within 3. Robinson got in foul trouble, and they have been sinking since then. Haven't been able to get a score. They'll get the ball back.
And as Scott touched it last, Antoine Carr trying for the rebound.
But the big dog wasn't wishing his sister, whose birthday today, a happy birthday then. You can see the struggle is at the offensive end. They've got to find a way to get inside and get something cheap.
Everyone has missed. Robinson moves it inside, misses his own easy follow, and it's 10 in a row that have failed to drop for San Antonio. John Lucas thought that it would be Orlando that would go into the icy period, but it's been his own team. 4 fouls on David Robinson. Hardaway sets up O'Neal. Oh my! And then lets the crowd know I'm here. Get those 22 candles ready. I'm going to light them all.
So Lucas is just trying to survive the quarter. They're down by 15. He still thinks that they got a run in them, and what they've got to do is identify where they can score the basketball, and it certainly isn't out on the perimeter. Ray Anderson makes one up.
Yeah, he got caught in midair, didn't know quite what to do, and finally Dale Ellis goes down and a whistle. Larry Krystkowiak with a foul. This is the action with Robinson unable to slap home his own rebound.
You can see on the other end there is too much room and daylight, and Shaquille O'Neal tells everybody in the front row that's 2 more. Dale Ellis has not scored since 2:10 of the first quarter. And he had 9 points. It's kind of like what happened to him in Minneapolis in the 3-point contest. He got frozen, he got cold, and he got eliminated.
Oh, wait a minute, you were rooting for him. You had him.
I did. I had him.
You had drawn his name. He finally gets that elusive point. 14 points to lead. San Antonio shooting only 30% this quarter, 6 for 20, and have no field goals in the last 5 minutes. Orlando with 2 to go in the third.
And with 2 minutes to go, what they want to do is get some defensive presence and shut down Orlando, but they're getting wide open shots because of O'Neal. He's just dropping the ball inside, throwing it back out. Krystkowiak at easy 2.
Biggest lead in the game for the Orlando Magic, 16.
Now, as long as David Robinson's being guarded by Krystkowiak, they're going to have to come to David.
He uses that speed to set up Antoine Carr. Carr, who has just returned from a serious foot injury. He's played in only 16 games this year. His first point. Bowie. Rebound Robinson. 7 rebounds for Robinson. On the Admiral.
The big dog is inside and he can score it, and he's got the ability to rock and roll and drop it off, and he does that against Shaquille O'Neal. Back-to-back hoops for Antoine Carr.
And your veteran from Wichita State on an assist from Robinson.
Now you're talking about beat. There's a lot of it right there between Carr and O'Neal, and they call an offensive foul against Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Carr doing his job. That's the 3rd foul on SHAQ.
Where's the beat? Look at this. They are locked up, and O'Neal will come in, and he's been able to do this against David Robinson. Get away, lean in. Well, not all fouls have gone in favor of SHAQ. Should have been on the line that time.
Leafy Floyd on his 34th birthday, and for Vinny Del Negro, he gets the ball. Final minute of the third. Robinson working on Krystkowiak and a whistle. 3rd on Larry Krystkowiak.
First team the next foul will be a penalty situation. San Antonio within 12. They'd like to go down 9 or 10 to end the third quarter of play, and John Lucas would feel he have a real solid chance of still winning this ball game.
Kostoviak on the Admiral. Shows his shooting touch. He now has 24. 10-point lead. Orlando up by as much as 16 here in the third.
This is the pressure that John Lucas wanted earlier in the period, and now they let Hardaway hold up. And in this situation, you shouldn't back up and give ground and let the offensive player come to you.
And Penny Hardaway with a very cold game, but he hits a big one right at the end of the period. 1.3 seconds left. Robinson just turns and throws, and that is the third quarter. Not a very good one for the San Antonio Spurs, as Shaquille O'Neal and David Robinson quiet in the points column, but the key was the fact that Robinson picked up 2 quick fouls every year, and Robinson leads by 1, both averaging just under 29 a game.
Now, David Robinson didn't have those dolls made by his people. You know, he would be the one that would be blocking the shot. Floyd is out, pressuring Scott Skiles, who replaces Penny Hardaway.
Looking for SHAQ against the veteran Antoine Carr. And Robinson is fouled as Kostoviak reaches in and gets his 4th. Gets the worst of it in both regards.
Notice that he had to actually shoot this basketball this time. Carr had him far enough off on the box where he had to come up with the jump shot. He left it short, and that's where they got the foul. Trying to get Dale Ellis off.
Carr with a hook shot rebound, O'Neal. He has 7 rebounds, 2 less than Robinson. 12-point lead for the Orlando Magic. Stolen by David Robinson. The veteran Sleepy Floyd. Robinson. Oh, he's become a terrific outside shooter. 10-point game. 26 for the Admiral.
And David Robinson is a center that likes to face the basket, and because of that, Lucas has changed the way he's allowed San Antonio to play. They try to smother O'Neal.
O'Neal backing in on Carr, can't hit, and a foul. Antoine Carr's first.
If they're going to keep Shaquille O'Neal from getting the ball, they have to, once it goes back out, make sure they have pressure on the passer. He was able to reestablish his position against Antoine Carr, which was too deep with nothing he could do. He fouls him, see if he can take it from the line. He's been shooting well this afternoon.
The star of his own rap album, SHAQ Diesel. I love that line, a tisket, a tasket, I'll rip down the basket. I mean, that's genius. O'Neal gets 1 out of 2. 11-point game and 30 points for SHAQ. Ellis almost with a walk. Antoine Carr drawing SHAQ out and hits the jumper. So his presence has been important for San Antonio. Carr was 6.
His return makes life easier for John Lucas, because if Reed isn't going well, he can go to Antoine Carr, and Carr is delivering this afternoon. Turnover.
Calming the ball.
That's twice today we've seen that call, which is rare. Hey, these guys better figure it out. Mike Mathis likes to call that particular play. One on Willie Anderson in the first half. Scott Skiles with 1 here.
And Brian Hill says, I want you to settle down. Let's have a time. Robinson, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 blocks, and 2 steals. Another complete game. That's why they're pumping him for MVP in these environs.
And you notice out of that list, there's only 1 guard, and Alvin Robertson, who's been down.
There's Dale Ellis with a three-pointer that the fans hungered for. 87-81.
A little professional sleight of hand, but Sleepy got caught as he was pressuring and forcing Scott Skiles to his left. He knew he was going to come back right, had his hand on the right hand and pulled him in and got caught.
Skiles with Krystkowiak, Bowie, Donald Royal in for the first time, and SHAQ O'Neal.
Now this puts a lot of pressure on O'Neal to deliver the goods.
Acrobatic pass to Skiles, back to Bowie with 6. And the runner over Robinson for Anthony Bowie. Boy, he comes in and contributes right away. Robinson at the other end. And a foul on Royal.
David Robinson ahead of the pack again, and Royal is going to say where. He thought that's a mystery foul. He was trying to make a play on the ball, just nicked him on the elbow. Now David Robinson, a three-point play.
Robinson cuts the lead to 5 with his 29th point. 29. SHAQ has 30.
Notice that the defense of San Antonio has really gotten energized with some offensive effort by Carr, Ellis, and Robinson.
Awfully missed by SHAQ O'Neal. Willie Anderson. The lead is down to 3. Orlando once in front by 16. Timeout Magic. Beef is an acronym, and there's the meat of his day. 13.3 rebounds.
Something happened to his contact, and they got his vision corrected, and we'll find out whether he shoots lights out and has the beat principle down here in the fourth quarter of play.
Hardaway posting up. Floyd misses the shot. Robinson the rebound. So from an icy period of over 6 minutes in the third, it's San Antonio red hot here in the fourth to pull it in 3.
Again, they've got Carr down on one side, David Robinson the other way. Sleepy Floyd goes for 3. And Sleepy's done a good job defensively, but they could have gotten a better shot at that time with either Carr or David Robinson. Now they come back looking at Shaquille O'Neal.
And Carr playing good defense on SHAQ. Gets the rebound. Floyd hurries it into the offensive end. Less than 8 minutes to go. San Antonio, tough to beat at home. They've won 15 of their last 16 games. Rebound Bowie. And Carr fouls him. And Bowie fouls the official, Joe Forte.
Antoine Carr has been able to get into him, and you need a big body to handle the strength and the weight of O'Neal, and he's forcing him just a little bit further out, and under pressure he's forcing misses where O'Neal was getting makes against a thinner and not quite as powerful David Robinson.
Brian Hill brings back Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson, so it's Scott Anderson, SHAQ, Krystkowiak, and Hardaway.
Against the defense, they want some firepower out there now, and Sleepy Floyd has done a good job of harassing the ball at the point of attack.
And Mike Mathis being booed because he made that call from way down on the baseline. Out on the perimeter play, the officials nearest the spot didn't see the foul, and Luke is a bit puzzled.
Well, you got 7:36 to go in the game. That's a 14 foul. San Antonio cannot afford to see another foul thrown against them without Orlando going to the line.
SHAQ partially deflected, and it goes against Orlando. A foul on O'Neal, his fourth. Antoine Carr making things happen for San Antonio.
Good penetrating play between Hardaway and O'Neal. O'Neal did not get it where he wanted on the glass, tried to chase it, came over the top of David Robinson. Now San Antonio has to come back with either David Robinson or Antoine Carr.
Both Robinson and SHAQ with 4 fouls. Anderson with a tough leaner. Robinson keeps it alive. Well, he's in double figures now in rebounds. Almost ties it up at 89.
Rodman's been trying to get into the game. He's been running up there to Lucas, and Lucas sent him back.
Well, Antoine Carr's been too good. Nick Anderson over Floyd, and Orlando reclaims a 2-point advantage. 6:38 to go. Underneath, Dale Ellis all alone, lost his man. It's tied at 91. Ellis with 18.
Ellis has been the offensive hero, and the defensive guys have been Carr and Sleepy Floyd. They get a foul against Antoine Carr here. This will put Shaquille O'Neal on the line.
Third on Carr.
You see Dale Ellis is true with that three-point field goal, and David Robinson, it's a tray all the way.
It's been a terrific matchup of these brilliant centers, Shaquille O'Neal and David Robinson, and two teams battling toward the playoffs. San Antonio feeling that you can't count them out for a possible home court advantage throughout there. That's their aim. O'Neal much better than his average today from the line, and he hits a deuce. 93-91. SHAQ with 32 to lead all scorers.
Nick Anderson back with some pressure against Willie Anderson, and that will change the presence of things for Orlando. Orlando, it has really allowed them to move the ball and move people where they want, and now they're really trying to put some pressure on 10 on the shot clock.
Lucas, All-America, Maryland. Brian Hill went to Little Kennedy College in Wahoo, Nebraska. Floyd almost pulled that to the foot. Carr, and he drew the foul. Hardaway reaching in. Oh, it's going to be Shaq O'Neal, and that'll be his 5th foul, and the fans love that. Meanwhile, Dennis Rodman returns for San Antonio.
We get another look at it. You see him get just a piece of the arm on the way up.
And Brian Hill at this point makes no immediate move.
Well, Chief works both ways. David Robinson has disagreed with a couple of nits, and so has Shaquille O'Neal.
Willie Anderson out, Dennis Rodman in. 5:48 to go. Antoine Carr trying to tie it up at 93, and here comes veteran Tree Rollins, bringing his 17 years of experience onto the floor. Now an assistant coach with the Magic, Shaq O'Neal, with 5 fouls. 32 points, matching his number.
Well, he can't sit very long. We've got 5:48 left in the ball game. He's going to get a couple of minutes, but in that couple of minutes, John Lucas is going to really try to pressure up on the perimeter. They know they have no inside threat in Tree Rollins.
Antoine Carr's contribution has been mighty big. 5:39 to go, a tie game.
Trying to post up Hardaway.
Uses the left hand, rebound, the veteran Rollins, and it falls. Tree Rollins battling for that rebound, his first points. Orlando by a basket.
What they say about a center, if you just stand around, it might fall in your hands, and that's what happened for him.
Robinson doesn't get the right piece of the glass on the spinner, and Rollins calls for a 20-second timeout. Rollins thought he was fouled. Now they're going to take the full timeout, are the Magic.
A role model.
I'm out of here.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Mike, I got my own shoes.
with my own initials on it.
Yeah? Well, I have my own shoes with my own name on it.
Well, can you do this in your shoe, Mr. I don't play anymore?
Yeah, but I don't have to. I'm retired.
I'm not. My shoes got this strap.
Laces.
Black.
White.
White's wimpy. And you can't keep it clean.
Size 13.
16.
Ooh. Nike Air.
Mine's got more.
I went ball first.
Did not.
Did too.
Hardaway's trying to take over the game against Sleepy Floyd. Worked it all the way down. Ended up with a tough shot, and now San Antonio has a chance to tie.
4:45 to go. Shaq O'Neal still on the bench. Tree Rollins in the post for Orlando.
They want the ball in David Robinson's hand. They want to make the defense react. They double David.
Boy, a tough shot against his body, falling out of bounds. 31 for David Robinson. 32 for Shaq. A new game with 4:20 to go. Anderson against Rodman.
See, now that they don't have the ability to drop the ball in, they've got to try to make something happen off the dribble, and a tough shot by Nick Anderson.
Boy, that was well earned against Rodman. 15 for him. To the 4-minute mark. 2-point lead Orlando. Stoviak on the far side of the key on Robinson. 8 on the shot clock.
They're trying to give you the idea that they're going to someone else, but this is David Robinson all the way, and he's against the clock now.
Rebound Ellis, and it's tied at 97. Ellis with a terrific fourth quarter now has 20 points, 10 in this period. Shot clock awry, and they put 24 back on. 3:27 to go.
David Robinson slides in against the clock, but nobody gets a body on Dale Ellis, and it's a cheap 2, and it ties the game up.
That's the absence of Shaq. That put back by Ellis. You wonder when Brian Hill will play the big card, bring his birthday boy back in.
Well, they're tied now. He'll probably try to squeeze another minute out if he can.
11 ties in this game. Biggest lead, Orlando, 16 in the third period.
Again, credit Sleepy Floyd a great deal with slowing down the pace of the game with his defensive presence on the point of attack.
Inside Krzyzewski to Rollins, and a foul. And Rollins got away with a little hop in there on his feet. Rodman, the foul, is second. Wayne Tree Rollins, one of the graybeards in the league. The handful that are left that played in the 1970s are all centers.
Now, these are all Tree Rollins works on during his warm-ups as a player.
There they are, Parrish, Malone, Edwards, and Cartwright, the others who saw duty in the NBA in the 1970s, all the big men, and only Parrish is older than Rollins.
And it's taken Rollins 20 years to get a little proficiency at the line, but he only gets 1 of 2. Floyd saves.
A one-point game with 3:07 to go and a backcourt foul. And Rodman has the presence to shoot it and hit the rim. Who says he can't shoot?
He can't shoot. That's why he should rebound.
In fact, he says, I don't even want to shoot.
But Floyd makes a terrific hustle play right here to make a save on the ball. That's the 4th team foul. And out of it, Dennis Rodman.
He was going for the new automobile with that shot. 9 rebounds for Rodman in the game. Well, they spread the floor and they keep Rodman way outside.
Nice play. They couldn't connect. It touched the hand of Anthony Hardaway. So the Spurs will retain possession, but they had Floyd going to the hoop.
2:55 left. The Magic by 1.
13 on the shot clock.
Floyd triggers it in. To Robinson. Good move by Floyd around Hardaway. Now the 34-year-old celebrates to go. Last time they led was at 41-40 in the second quarter.
O'Neal is now guarding David Robinson. Robinson's got to think about getting to the free throw line, and he gives up his dribble.
Carr from Robinson way off the mark. The shot was so bad that it carried him right to Ellis. A 3-point lead. 2 minutes to go.
Two-man game. They're trying to set it up between Hardaway and O'Neal.
Scott with a tough inside shot. 101-100. San Antonio with 1:40 to go. Hardaway almost with a steal. Rodman, big smile on his face as he nods. Here we go. It's Robinson. David Robinson and a foul. Look at Rodman. The odd couple, Rodman and Robinson, but it's working in San Antonio.
David Robinson went to his right that time and surprised Krystkowiak, threw it down with two hands, and Rodman was there at the finish with the tackle. Maybe it was a hug.
They do like each other. 104-100. Turned over. Sleepy Floyd makes the play. Look at that San Antonio bench. You would have thought they won the NBA title. They came pouring out to tell Sleepy Floyd. What an unusual way to tell him happy birthday.
Floyd has been a real pest in the entire third and fourth quarter, and he forces a bad pass, dives on the floor, the timeout, and Lucas is down there saying, wait, give him room, let him breathe.
Back at the Alamo Dome, and while the spotlight has indeed been on David Robinson and Shaq O'Neal, it's the supporting cast of the Spurs that has rallied them here in the second half, and it's been the veterans, Sleepy Floyd and Antoine Carr, in support of David Robinson, who has 34. Shaq with 32, both in double figures in rebounds. Both men have played up to all the hype. But two men you didn't expect, Carr and Floyd, have been crucial to the Spurs comeback. They lead by 4, 1:20 to go. Floyd misses the layup. Nick Anderson rebounds. Penny Hardaway with the ball. Scott for three. Way off. Willie Anderson rebounds. Nick Anderson doesn't foul him. Hardaway gets Floyd. They'll make that Donald Royal with a foul, his second.
John Lucas playing offense and defense, and now is going to get Dennis Rodman back in the game. And on Rodman in a situation where he can get fouled and possibly have to go to the line. So Dale Ellis will go out very quickly.
Floyd, who's done his work on defense, 2 points in the game, averaging about 4 a game. Eric Augustus.
With the exception of the ill-advised three, he has been almost flawless in his play since coming in off the bench, particularly in pressuring the ball and slowing the Magic down.
106-100. Biggest lead of the game for San Antonio, trailed most of the time.
Now, the best time to be ahead is at the end. Scott going for three.
Floyd rebounds. Rodman says, hold it up. And the foul by Hardaway on Floyd with 40.4 seconds. And Dennis Scott may have picked up a technical foul. Yes. Floyd shoots it. And Scott thought he was fouled down at the other end. No, I guess not. Scott, indeed, with a technical foul.
MVP, you hear them shouting throughout the arena here at the Alamo Dome.
Floyd with a miss. It stays at 106-100. So he's missed 2 of them.
Missed the technical, missed his first. Now he'll see if he can get this one to go in.
So it'll take 3 possessions for Orlando. Down by 7 with just seconds left. And look at that. Rodman hawked Nick Anderson, and Robinson comes out to stop. O'Neal with the rebound, and he is fouled. That could have been the 3-point play. Antoine Carr's 4th foul. And Willie Anderson out to say something to SHAQ, and that was something a bit more serious than having a nice birthday.
Yeah, and SHAQ said, "Get out of my face," and he quickly vanished. So the big fellow was serious. He's upset because his team had the lead when he got in foul trouble, had to sit down, and the complexion of the game changed, and they end up losers when it appeared that they might be winners this afternoon.
They might be giving SHAQ another free throw here. Dennis Rodman on the free throw line was indicating one as if that was a play, but it was a distraction. And I believe Mike Mathis is going to give SHAQ they're going to give him another free throw. Yeah, Rodman, well, there are all kinds of tricks on the line. You try to move as a man shooting just to take perhaps some of his concentration away.
Luke is saying, look, we're almost out of here, guys. Let's just get out. We got 29 seconds. We're going to get the ball back. If we can hold it for 24, they can't hurt us. Don't do anything crazy.
Rodman now able to say, all right, nothing wrong with this. He can do that. So SHAQ, who'd been shooting well all day, misses 2. Hardaway with a 3-pointer. Rodman, they're going to call that goaltending. Rodman, well, that's watch out.
And it has to be 3. Hardaway shot a 3-point field goal.
107-103.
Now, we said on Antoine Carr didn't have a chance to go in. Where's this ball going to come down? That was well in front of the rim.
But the official had a different angle than that shot. And so the Magic are still...
They want to foul. As soon as the ball comes in, they foul David Robinson.
22.8 seconds left. 107-103. So at the very worst, if Robinson makes 2 free throws, and thinking in the Orlando terms, 2 threes could tie the game.
And that is why John Lucas was trying to tell his players, look, fellas, it's a 7-point lead, nothing crazy. Anything can happen in a short period of time in the NBA, and all he wants to do is get the game over with now that they have an advantage on the scoreboard.
35th point for David Robinson. SHAQ O'Neal with 32. Rodman back in. This for a 6-point lead.
You don't want to foul on a 3-point shot. You want to actually give them the shot and let them use a little time to get it. Looking for Nick Anderson.
Out there, Rodman is. Sleepy Floyd fouled by Dennis Scott. 10 rebounds for Dennis Rodman, well under his average. And the fans now and the players feel they've got it wrapped up. 7 seconds to go, and Sleepy Floyd at the line. It's rather appropriate that Floyd should be there at the end of the game because his 4th quarter play was certainly inspirational.
And he has been one of the guys that has not seen much duty, and John Lucas is aware of that. He's changed his lineup several different times using different combinations, and what they say in San Antonio is you don't know when your name will be called, but be ready. He was definitely ready this afternoon.
So it was SHAQ O'Neal's birthday, 22, but it was also Sleepy Floyd's 34th. Dennis Rodman at the end of the game, and San Antonio has now won 16 of their last 17 at home and pull into a tie for the moment with the Houston Rockets in the Midwest, rallying for a 111-103 victory.
Well, there you go. Sleepy Floyd shows how the little things in a game can mean so much. Anyway, to those cynics who say Orlando has only one offence, and that is give it to SHAQ, and if he doesn't score, he'll hit the open man outside, well, it's pretty hard to argue with that, isn't it? But so far, at least it works. Well, we'll see some other results and be back with NBA action.